Hey folks, welcome to Unqualified, the fantasy football podcast that's been reporting their league mates' comments since 2017. I'm your producer, Rob Diesendorf, here with Sean Brady and Scott Johnson, two fantasy football rivals that have been sabotaging each other for years, but they decided to come together to help you win your league and report your league mates. How's it going, fellas?
You didn't even see the comment. I feel like you reported it and then you didn't do anything after that. You didn't see all the comments after that.
Yeah, that's what I do. I get in there, I report, and I leave.
Yeah, you just stir up some shit and then you're done. You're out.
Exactly.
I don't even
walk
care
away.
what happens after that.
I don't look at the mayhem I leave behind.
You don't pick up the pieces.
Me and Scott sabotage each other, and Rob sabotages anyone newer than him.
Everyone else. Yeah, and those people too.
He's not a welcoming presence in the league.
He doesn't like new people.
I don't know how to welcome people into the league. I'm not friendly. I don't have social skills. I lack a positive demeanor.
You better be careful, though, or the new guy might sick one of these food mascots at you, Rob. Are you a little scared of, the Quaker guy coming after you?
The Quaker Oats guy?
Yeah, that guy. That's the one.
No. He's just a walking face. That's all he is.
Oh, my God.
I just imagine him as a face with little tiny legs and arms.
Yeah, I don't think I know. I think he's like low-key.
Who is he, Ben
jacked,
Franklin?
A little tall, and he definitely has a gun somewhere.
I think it's William Penn. William Penn, right? Is that the Quaker guy? That's
Ooh,
what, for all the history buffs out there. Look up William Penn. I'm sure he's probably one of the biggest Quakers out there. Big Quaker guy.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, there was a thing on Twitter that circulating around a little bit. It's a picture. We might or might not post it this week.
Oh, we'll post it.
We'll post it.
We're posting it.
It's literally called Food Mascots and Whether or Not I'd Be Able to Kick Their Ass. It's like a bar of they would absolutely kick my ass to I could definitely kick their ass, and it's just pictures of all these mascots. So the Quaker guy is firmly like all the way to the right, along with the Gerber baby. I could definitely kick their ass. I agree with the Pillsbury Doughboy and the Gerber baby, but I think the Quaker guy is packing heat. I don't know.
You know who's underrated on this list? Also, the peanut guy, with the cane and the
I was just gonna say that next. He's got a
weapon. He's got a weapon.
He's tiny.
Is he though?
I don't know about that. Is he
I could
tiny?
step on him.
I don't know.
Okay,
This is a
here's
little
the deal.
skewed.
Here's the deal with the peanut guy. If he was a human-sized peanut with that cane, then I would be terrified.
I think he is.
But if he's a peanut-sized peanut, then the stakes are much different.
I feel like we need to flip him regardless. I think we need to flip him with Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald is like closer to like they would absolutely kick my ass. He's like in between fair fight and they would kick my ass. He's a little bitch, Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, he is.
I could definitely kick his ass.
I feel like all clowns have that dark side though, so he might take it up a couple of notches.
That's a good point.
I feel like Ronald McDonald has like jazzercise strength.
He would just evade every like, punch.
Richard Simmons energy.
That's actually a good point. He might very well be able to do that.
Yeah.
And then you got the red M&M. He's like that's nothing. Like no.
Oh my God! What about Uncle Ben and his rice?
Nah.
Oh, you're not fucking with Uncle Ben.
I disagree.
Also, the Green Giant.
It's a fair fight. Green Giant would kick your ass.
And also Bush's Baked Beans.
Where's that one?
How about that? Just the
I don't
guy,
even know if he's on
Bush.
I don't see that one on here. I don't know what Bush's Baked Beans looks like though. Can't say I've ever had it.
Here's a matchup for you guys. So the Quaker guy we talked about already, but him versus Newman from the Newman's Own brand. Who's taking the cake there?
No one is defeating Paul Newman.
Newman's Own brand.
Are you
is that
kidding me?
is that the salad dressing?
It is, yes.
Paul Newman's jawline could kick my ass.
Is that Paul Newman? Is that the name?
It is, I believe.
I don't think he's on here, is he? Yeah, I think.
No, he's not on there.
You can't
Who
bet
do you
against
think
Newman's Own.
invented the half and half?
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer, yeah.
You're right.
What about,
I was like, is this a trick
Just a
question?
little Q&A there.
unrelated Q&A. What about Chef Boyardee? He's a little
Nah,
B
he's
too.
he's got no mobility. He's not gonna. You could run circles around that guy.
You know who I think should be way over to the left, meaning they would definitely kick my ass? Burger King. He's definitely a dirty fighter.
Yes.
Like all those
my God.
commercials. I just feel like-
Confirmed.
He definitely knows like Krav Maga or something.
yeah. He like scratches and claws and like pokes your eyes and stuff like he would fuck you up.
Who do you fight dirty? Then how comes my conscience is so clean?
All right, so let me ask one more question here. Which food mascot do you think would have the least trouble dispatching you in a fight? I know my answer, and it's unequivocal. And I'll save it for the end.
Burger King.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll go with
Wait.
Burger King.
You're asking what?
So which
Who would
food
kick your
mascot
ass?
would have the easiest time kicking your ass? Like who's a matchup problem for you, Rob?
Are you talking about on this? Sorry, just to clarify, on this like thing or like in general?
Either one. If you have a nice extra one, that'd be nice.
Can't think of any.
For me,
I
go ahead.
I feel like the Jolly Green Giant would obliterate me.
See, I feel like he's a little complacent. I feel like he doesn't really have to know how to fight to dominate. So maybe he's a little sloppy. I'm worried about the Cheetah. I think that guy. I think he would. I need a synonym for eviscerate, but he would literally eviscerate me. I think, and it would
What's so
take
wrong
like
with eviscerate.
it would take like 5 seconds for him to get rid of me.
I
And
feel
by
like
get
he's,
rid of me, I
actually
mean like
fast.
fully eat me. Yeah.
Actually, I changed my answer. Mine is going to be Toucan Sam.
Wow,
Just peck you
I feel
to
like
peck you to
Toucan
death.
Sam is powerful.
interesting.
That beak is thick.
It's a thick beak.
Thick. What do we think about Trix, the rabbit?
No.
He's just limber.
Yeah, it would be tough because you wouldn't be able to catch him, but I feel like he's got no oomph.
Yeah. Dark horse sleeper here. Kool-Aid guy breaks walls.
Yes. Yeah, he's got the girth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, in that
That'd
vein,
be the worst. That'd be the worst, too. That'd be the worst. Getting your ass kicked by him and then him just standing over you just going, oh, yeah.
you're just like next to the wall
Oh, yeah.
of sheetrock and you get crushed underneath all the all the plaster.
That'd be brutal. I think people should find us in the channels about this. And
Yes.
we should debate and discuss.
We should
Yeah.
do like a tournament. We should do like a
Ooh, like
An
Sweet
en-
16? Or like
yeah, I totally.
March
That's
Madness?
it. The Sweet 16 tournament. You know what? I'll work on the seeding. Tonight's Monday night. I'll work on the seeding on Tuesday. So then on Wednesday, when the episode's released,
Yes.
we can release this on the story. That's going to be my project.
I love that. Love that.
Hell yeah. So let's look at some guys
I'll
that...
do all the illustrations.
I'll just enjoy it.
Perfect. I'm gonna attempt a transition here to fantasy football. So let's take a look at the Kool-Aid guys bursting through the wall in week 5
Nice.
for fantasy football. Who went off, Scott? Who went off in week 5? Who went off?
I'm just I'm amazed by that transition. That was great. Deshaun Watson and Will Fuller, teammates. Will Fuller had the
Historic.
third most fantasy points in the last 20 years, I believe. 53
Oh, yeah.
full point PPR. Full point PPR points. 217 yards, dozen catches, 3 touchdowns. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdowns through the air. Russell Wilson also had a great game, 29 points. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey had an insane game, 175 scrimmage yards. Aaron Jones, 4 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, a pair of touchdowns. Wide
Against the
receivers.
Bears.
Yeah. In London. I forgot that was in London.
I fucked the London game, honestly. Like, what are we even doing over there?
I think they're adding more and more games every week. Every year, I mean. Every year.
But just like,
It's
but
true.
why? But like,
It is true.
are these are English people actually into the NFL? I can't tell.
No, they have like Randy Moss jerseys. Randy Moss Vikings jerseys, regardless of who's playing. and like David Garrard Jaguars jerseys. Like that's what I've seen in the past. Maurice Jones-Drew. Yeah. Speaking of Jaguars, DJ Chark should be owned in 100% of leagues.
Yes.
Over 100 yards again. Looks like Gardner Minshew, Mania's top target. Michael Thomas, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin. Adam Thielen finally broke out again. And then, like we said, Eagles defense against the Jets. Killed it with 2 touchdowns.
Nelly. Yeah, they put up like 30-plus fantasy points in most formats. That Eagles defense was a killer. I mean, this is the kind of week where like you could have conceivably scratched the surface of like 250 points in your lineup if you had a couple of these guys. Like it's within the realm of possibility, and that just so if you're one of those people out there freaking out because now you're like me, probably 2-3, 1-4, because you just got someone just took a dump on you with Chris Godwin and no, I'm not gonna say it with Chris Godwin and Christian McCaffrey. Don't panic. It's not time to panic yet. It's still early in the year.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of 2 and 3 teams make the playoffs. Plenty of 6 and 7 teams make the playoffs. Just throwing that out there too. So not at all the time to freak out. You probably should start to panic a tiny bit though about Saquon Barkley, because Wayne Gallman is now out, and it seems like they're rushing Saquon Barkley back this week. And I mean, I don't own Saquon Barkley in any leagues, but if I did, I would be very concerned about that.
Especially playing the Patriots on Thursday night. That would be the dumbest thing for them to do. But hopefully not. Who else got hurt, though? Mahomes, ankle injury. Mason Rudolph had a brutal head hit and is in the concussion protocol. And then, like you said, Wayne Gallman's out with a concussion as well. But what do we think of Mahomes and his ankle injury? Obviously, Saquon shouldn't rush him back, but Mahomes didn't really leave the game that much. Came back in, but he didn't look the same.
I think he'll be okay because I still think him without his mobility is probably like the 5th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And I think what this will do is it'll kind of make them a little bit more traditional the next couple weeks while he kind of gets back to full health, meaning they'll probably use Kelsey a little bit more. They'll probably lean on the running game a tiny bit more than they have. Take the ball out of his hands a tiny bit. I mean, he's still a stud. I mean, he's still probably going to win the MVP this year, but I mean, I'm a little concerned. This is now twice this year that the ankle's been an issue. So, not ideal.
2 subpar games, too, from him in a row.
Yeah. Well, that I'm less worried about. I think that, part of this was, I mean, he was playing out of this world to start that game, and then he got a little nicked up.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is also coming back very soon, and that's going to completely change the complexion of this offense.
Yep.
For the better. So, don't panic if you're a Mahomes owner. Definitely don't panic if you're a Kelsey owner. I think the big 2 touchdown performance is brewing. It's very soon. It might even come this week, but I don't know. In general, I'm still a little bit worried about Mahomes' ankle because if this happens now a third time, their offensive line's not great anymore. So if this happens a third time, we might. I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to say it. But I'm a little concerned about Mahomes.
Madden curse.
I'll leave it at that.
Is that what you're going to
say? maybe a tiny bit. Maybe a tiny bit.
Well, before we move on to the rest of the recap, we have a lot of random league-wide trends. So let's get into it. There's 5 random stream of consciousness thoughts that we got here. But the first one, this is just really random, and it's interesting thought. The Raiders might be good, 3-2.
Well coached.
Well coached. Better than the Chargers.
Well coached Raiders.
They have their guys. They got an okay running game. It's interesting. Derek Carr's not that great, but I don't know. They might be good. Better than
they beat a solid team. And they ran the ball down their throat. Yeah. And
that kind of works.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of cool. Another thing, another random league-wide trend or thought, player studs, regardless. Yes. You could have a Mike Evans type week where you get a big goose egg on 3 targets, which didn't make any sense to me. But you could also have an Adam Thielen type week, right? Adam Thielen had 2 catches for 6 yards last week. And then all of a sudden exploded for 2 touchdowns, and it was based on the matchup. So you got to play them regardless.
Yeah, and I kind of like that you put this back-to-back with the Raiders might be good. Josh Jacobs is one of your studs. I shouldn't see him in Flex Fridays anymore. Sorry, people. I love answering your questions, but if you put Josh Jacobs in there, he's always going to be the answer.
Yep.
I put him, it was 4 or 5 people asked me this week, and I said, you're playing Jacobs. You probably took him in the 3rd round. You're playing him.
Absolutely.
Just be patient. Even if it's a bad matchup, he's going to get the ball a lot. Isto facto, nice big week for Josh Jacobs. And
David Montgomery, too.
Yeah. He got in the end zone. I mean, it's not perfect.
Not pretty.
But, but the Bears' offense in general isn't really pretty. So,
Yeah.
You kind of invested in the wrong team. It's too early to bail on one player because of that. Speaking of teams that don't look too good, Scott, we got some big time bottom feeders in the NFL right now.
Race to the first overall, Redskins, who just fired Jay Gruden on Monday.
Yeah.
Bengals, 0-5, had a chance to get their first win of the year, but the Cardinals got that before them. And the J-Words.
And the Finns. Oof.
J-Words and the Finns. Yeah. All four of these teams look absolutely putrid. It's crazy.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about any of them whatsoever.
Yeah. Just thought it was fun. It's fun in the 5 weeks in that you're starting to see like the good teams shape out, and the bad teams. It's just so entertaining to like predict who's going to go first overall.
Speaking of draft picks here, Scott, I have a very random but very pressing thing to point out here. The 2017 running back draft class is out of this world. Number 4 overall, Leonard Fournette. Number 8 overall, Christian McCaffrey. Number 41 overall, Dalvin Cook. I'm going to stop listing the numbers, but we got Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, James Conner, Tariq Cohen, Marlon Mack, Aaron Jones, Chris Carson, Austin Eckler, and Matt Breida. But the last two are both undrafted, but they're still in that class. That's like 11 starting running backs for fantasy, and Kareem Hunt and Tariq Cohen, who was a running back 1 last year. So what's going on here with this draft class? Is this the greatest position class of all time?
That is ridiculous. It's kind of like the 2014 wide receivers. They had Sammy Watkins, Mike Evans, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, like those guys. You just have a class that's just solid like this. And the other thing is these guys are all pretty much in their prime as a running back. Running backs don't last that long. They're 24, 5, 6 years old. But yeah, that's a solid point out. That's insane. And Matt Breida on Monday night, we're recording this in the middle of it, but had 3 touches at one point for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns.
No big deal.
The Browns. No big deal. And he was the last guy drafted out of all those guys, technically. And Eckler had 15 catches, another undrafted guy this week. Let's another stream of consciousness here. I don't think anyone's giving Jacoby Brissett props at all. And everyone was like beating up the Colts for losing Andrew Luck and beating up Andrew Luck. This guy's on pace for 32 touchdown passes this year and 4,300 yards.
And he's a gamer. He's a gamer. He's doing this in big games, and he did it last week. I mean, they lost last week, I believe, but
2 weeks ago they beat the Chiefs this week.
Right, they beat the Chiefs this week.
Past week.
But the week before I think they lost to the Raiders, but he was missing T.Y. Hilton. So it's not like he's in an ideal situation right now. Now, the offensive line is clearly the best in the league, and that's huge, but it's not like he's got studs across the field he's throwing to. He's got a couple good tight ends, like above average tight ends. He's got Marlon Mack, who looks really good, but is not like a top 5 running back. And he's got T.Y. Hilton, who has been banged up here and there. And he's making this happen. He's rushing for scores. He just looks like a gamer, and he's the kind of guy that other teams like maybe the Bears, the Jags, besides Minshew kind of breaking out, the teams like that should be kicking themselves for sleeping on this guy.
Absolutely. And the Colts even. Everyone's like bitching and moaning that Andrew Luck was gone. That team was like playoff hopes were down the tubes. I think they're fine. 3-2 now, just beat the Chiefs. They're doing insanely good. I want to talk about the NFC South randomly. Some interesting. It's probably one of the most interesting divisions. The Falcons suck this year, but even more interesting are their points for and against. I thought it was a pretty cool call out here. The Saints are 4-1, but they only have 115 points for and 116 points against. Kind of interesting. More points against, but they're 4-1. So I feel like that's not going to continue. They're winning a lot of close games, and this is similar to what the Rams did last year. Like they could keep it up, but they're kind of playing. They're outkicking their coverage a little bit without Drew Brees, in my opinion. Panthers are 3-2, but they have 129 points for and 107 points against, which is actually the best point differential and the difference in that division so far. Panthers are playing out of their minds, and Ron Rivera's team, like defense and running, that's working for them. Bucks 2-3. 147 points for and 148 points against so far.
Oh, boy.
So they just live and die by points and for and against. And it's just always a shootout, which is always what we say every week. 147 points for is the most in the NFC so far this season, up through 5 games, which is kind of interesting.
That's because of that Rams game. That Rams game really boosted their total with 55, I think.
55, yep. Falcons are 1-4, 102 points for and 152 points against, which is interesting because Dan Quinn is a defensive specialist and doesn't look like that. And on that vein of points for and against, just a couple of other shout-outs. Patriots have 34 points against all year.
In 5 games. So
it's a touchdown every week.
6 points a game? Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. Jets have 39 points for.
Nice.
And the Dolphins have 26 points for. So that's the AFC East right there. Interesting. Ravens are leading the AFC with 161 points for. And then the Bucks are leading with 147 in the NFC. And then the Rams have 146 points for. So they're up there too.
Oh, they're scoring more than I thought it felt like they weren't scoring that much, but I guess
Rams?
they are.
Yeah, put 29 up on the Seahawks. They put 40 on the Bucks. They're up there. Their defense isn't that good. They're 3-2 this year. And they're losing those close games, like we said, what might happen this year compared to last year.
Yeah, so maybe the Saints come back down to earth a little bit. The Panthers look effing good.
They do.
With Kyle Allen. I mean, Kyle Allen, all he has to do is just not fuck the game up. And let Christian McCaffrey do his thing.
Literally hand the ball off.
Okay, let's get into some of our recap segments. We're going to start this week 5 review, and we're going to turn down the music here. We're going to hashtag cancel a player this week. I don't know if we did this already, but O.J. Howard is our guy.
Definitely.
Let's cancel this guy. He's done. What the?
Definitely canceled if he wasn't already. I feel like we said it last week.
O.J. Howard.
I didn't remember, but he's double canceled. He's double secret probation right now.
Yes, so that's our pick, and I'd also like to throw into the mix Geronimo Allison and Marquez Valdez-Scantling because it is officially whack-a-mole season in Green Bay.
Nice, I like that. Yeah, MVS, 1 catch off 4 targets. Geronimo Allison had, 2 catches? It's a weird offense in Green Bay, and it seems like a running offense now, rushing offense.
Yeah, they're like that running defense team now, just like the Panthers. And the only difference is they have one of the most talented quarterbacks ever to grace this earth. So
makes sense.
Yeah, why not? So let's move on to our fantasy hangover, and this one is near and dear to my heart because I was just watching Red Zone, enjoying my Sunday, going, oh wow, look at Christian McCaffrey, he's playing really well. I was like, this is awesome. Like, wow. Really fun to watch. And then, of course, I check my fucking matchup, and I'm playing against him in a full PPR. He's got
full PPR.
He's got 49 points by the end of the game, and this hangover is the routine hangover that's becoming a little too familiar. You know when you just wake up on Monday and you're like, is this just every Monday now for the rest of my life? That's what this feels like because Christian McCaffrey is inevitable. You can't stop him.
The answer is yes. It is. It is what every Monday feels like for the rest of your life. It gets worse.
Oh, damn it. Oh, man. Well, I'm really pissed off I didn't get to own Christian McCaffrey this year because I was one of the first people to see it coming last year, and just, the luck of the draw, draft pick-wise, really fucks you over sometimes. But
what are you going to do?
Let's look at some beauty sleepers. Mine are looking good. Yours are looking not so great. And Rob's are looking
very
worse.
Middling.
Rob's are looking worse. Except for Matt Breida. Great call.
Yeah.
Great call, Rob.
It's the only one.
You know who else is always looking great, though? Bob Wiley.
Bob Wiley.
All right, it's time to buy the dip. And I'm a little disappointed in you listeners out there. I'm not even going to call you cuties. Nobody asked for the guac recipe last week.
Ooh.
Maybe we didn't prompt them enough, but this next dip of the week
you suspect
is one that I don't know if I can really give you a recipe for because I don't actually know how it's made. It's some secret concoction. But our dip of the week here is beer cheese. And the best vehicle for delivery is the soft pretzel.
Easily.
Discuss.
Did you just say I thought you said blue cheese. You said beer
brew cheese.
Brew cheese. There's nothing to discuss there. Soft pretzel. Easily, 1,000% of the time. I don't even know what else you dip into beer cheese. It just comes with soft pretzels.
Yourself.
A kielbasa, maybe?
Kielbasa, interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like
Take
that's
a
more of a
bath
mustard
in it.
thing.
That's very true. But but a soft pretzel might also be more of a mustard thing. That's the only thing here.
Yeah. Well, you got to go every other bite. Every other bite is beer cheese. Every other bite is
Ooh.
mustard.
Okay, I like maybe sometimes even combine them. You get a little
You could do that.
mustardy kick with the velvety beer cheese.
Like one on each end of the pretzel. You just get a little stick of pretzel. Boop, boop.
Now that's an idea right there. Now here's the only thing. Here's my only real take about beer cheese. Do you need to add the beer to make it good? Because I feel like I can never really taste the beer in the beer cheese.
I feel
does
like
have a sour bitterness to it.
yeah, I think you do need it. Otherwise, it's just cheese. It's like a cheese sauce, and at that point, it's like just have some queso.
So let me ask you then: what's the best beer to put in a beer cheese?
It's got to be like Guinness or something.
Beats me.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
like some thick Guinness.
a thick, hefty brew.
Thick. I'm trying to Google what do you dip in beer cheese. Do you dip in? But I don't think there's anything else besides pretzels.
It's got to be a pretzel. It has to be the pretzel. And beer cheese is it an elite dip? That's my question. I feel like it's a B plus dip.
I'd say a solid. Yeah, I'd say a B. I can't have it every day. What kind of cheese do they make it with though? Because I think that changes the grade a little bit too.
Oh, I have no idea. Just the yellow kind.
Because apparently IPAs pair well with cheddars, and lighter beers match lighter cheeses.
so there's a whole
lot.
little palate. There's a palate matching process.
Try
This is
stouts
getting
with
too
blue
complicated
cheeses.
for me.
Rob, if you have to pair a beer and a cheese together for your beer cheese, what are you pulling out of the cupboard?
Yeah, Kraft.
Oh man, I checked out as soon as we started saying draft. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, I'm gonna go with cheese, and it's gonna be melted. And
What kind of cheese?
any
Kraft-
cheese.
Kraft
Honestly,
cheese.
any kind of
Kraft
melted
singles.
cheese is good enough for me. Yeah, Velveeta.
Rob's a big Velveeta / Natty Light combo guy.
Never Natty
not
Light.
bad, actually.
Never Natty Light.
It's not bad.
You know what? I don't even know.
I'm gonna go with a Sam Adams, and I don't know enough about cheeses, honestly.
Good God,
Gouda.
this is a mess.
Gouda cheese.
That's great. I'm gonna go Guinness and cheddar, like thick.
Well,
You
that's
need
an
thick.
obvious choice because there's no mystery with Gouda. It's good. It has good in the name. You know it's going to be good.
I'm gonna throw in a vehicle for consumption for delivery.
Ooh, okay,
Garlic bread.
okay. I'm listening. I'm
Just
always
garlic
listening.
bread.
Whenever someone says garlic bread, my automatic response is I'm listening.
I feel like garlic bread you could dip it in a lot of things, like marinara sauce,
Oh, yes.
spinach and arch. I had
So
that over
you're
the
gonna
weekend. Spinach and
dip
artichoke with garlic bread. It's fucking great.
Oh.
You're telling me you're going to dip garlic bread in cheese.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm also not going to say you're right.
It probably feels dirty, but also feels right.
Have you ever had it, Rob? Have you ever had it?
No,
I don't think you can.
I've
I don't think
never-
you're qualified to say that. Then
I've never taken that leap of faith.
I don't think you're qualified to say it. I've had it. It's good. It's really good.
I think we should throw this out to the UQDs, the better vehicle for consumption for beer cheese, soft pretzel, garlic bread. And in the meantime, Scott, I think we should look for the garlic bread of week 5. The teams and or players to target and dip into that lineup. Who do you like?
Love
week 5
that.
and beyond.
Love that. Teams or players to target. Michael Gallup, if you can. At this point, I mean, he came back from injury and savvy move in one of my leagues. I picked him up because someone dropped him. He wasn't projected
Ooh,
anything
that's
because he was
savvy.
questionable leading up to it.
That's a savvy veteran move right
Savvy
there.
veteran move, and he ended with 24 full point PPR points. Gerald Everett also looks like a solid tight end target for the Rams, like kind of a safety valve. You know, you got a couple wide receivers there, but Brandon Cooks in the concussion protocol, and Jared Goff is just looking for some safety valves at this point. Cortland Sutton not getting a ton of targets on a run first team, but proven to be the number one target there over Emmanuel Sanders. Chase Edmonds, David Johnson got hurt last week on the Cardinals, and Chase Edmonds looks really explosive when he has the work, and couple other running backs, Carlos Hyde and Jordan Howard. They're not sexy, but they get it done. They plod through.
The plotters. You love your plotters. Oh my god.
Love the plotters. And honestly, they're the number one guys on their teams.
On good teams, on good running teams also. So that's the way to go. I totally agree. It's like two guys I want to throw out there. I mean, we've been talking about Alex Madison since I went on that unconscious rant about bachelor parties a couple weeks ago, but
Yep.
Go pick him up. And Chase Edmonds, I'm gonna add him to that category after his insane touchdown this week. He looked fantastic. David Johnson might he's not hurt, but he's a little bit banged up, so Chase Edmonds must be an ad, especially if you're a David Johnson owner.
Yep, love that. Shrewd move of the week. Pick up the Cowboys defense because they're playing the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Redskins and Dolphins are playing each other, so maybe pick up both defenses. See if you can play both of them at the same time. Be cool.
That might be the first time ever we can recommend picking up both defenses.
Yep.
But I totally agree. I feel like the only offensive player that's capable of scoring a touchdown is Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry.
On either team.
On either.
And yeah, that Cowboys defense. How many defensive touchdowns for Jalen Smith this week? 2, 3, 6,
5.
Break the
I'm gonna say
record.
5. Over under 5. That should be in our prop bets.
The over-under should be 1.5, I think.
I have a question. Is the Cowboys defense going to score more points, or the Jets whole team going to score more points next week?
Cowboys defense. Oh, it's Cowboys defense. If Sam Darnold plays, then Cowboys defense still, I think.
I'm still going to take Cowboys defense, whoever plays the quarterback. I don't even care. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football preview. It is the Giants at the Patriots.
Oh, we lucked out the last couple weeks, but not this week.
Yeah. At the Patriots. That's all I'm going to say. The line is minus 16.5 for the Patriots. So we're looking at the Giants. Danny Dimes looks nothing more than QB2 at this point, and this is absolutely 1,000% the week to sit him and probably sit everyone. And Wayne Gallman's hurt. Saquon Barkley. Hopefully they don't rush him back like you said earlier. But doesn't. I mean, Sterling Shepard is also hurt. I think he's in the concussion protocol.
Oh, God.
So everyone's hurt. I will say Evan Engram, it's kind of wild, his home and away stats. I don't usually put too much stock into them, but they are actually important when you look at like teams and like individual players. Evan Engram's away stats average this year, 8.5 catches for 114.5 yards and 1 touchdown off of 11 targets on average. And then home stats, 5.3 catches for 48 yards on average, no touchdowns off of 8.6 targets.
Does he have like a nagging family member that like bothers him at home and like keeps him up at night the week before?
Probably. His parents are looking at him like, catch the ball.
He's got like a disapproving uncle that just like crosses his arms and like stares at him the whole game.
He probably knows he has to buy like 30 tickets for his family and extended family. He's like, I just lost more money than I made this week.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting away home stats. What do we think of this game? Patriots, what do we got?
Oh, I mean, the line is like the kind of line where they're begging you to take the under, but I mean, you can't bet against the Patriots right now. And I would say on the Patriots side, Sony Michel keeps finding his way into Flex Friday, and I mean, he's the top running back option on a run first team. That might be one of the top 2 teams in the league, so they're going to be up. So while
True.
I mean, his efficiency has been god-awful this year. I mean, you can't really afford to not play him just because, like, he's going to find the end zone more often than not. I mean, he definitely is a sell high-ish candidate right now, but, I mean, you can't bench the guy because he's going to find the end zone. So, I mean, it's really about him, Edelman, and the defense. That defense is an absolute fantasy asset this year.
Yep. And we talked about them last week in their schedule. That goes hand in hand with Sony Michel, too. He's killing it in good matchups. This is a really good matchup, the Giants. Next week, on Monday Night Football, they have a long break. They're playing the Jets. Really good matchup. After that is the Browns. Really good matchup. Ravens is a good matchup. Eagles is an okay matchup after that, after their bye. So this might be like the same thing with the defense. Like you sell them after their bye, after you get 4 or 5 more solid weeks. You could do the same with Sony Michel. You could probably get a couple more weeks of good production out of him because they're going to be up so much and running it so much.
Sounds good to me. Thursday Night Football, Giants at Patriots. You can't not take the Patriots. It's just
Yeah.
You have to.
Just go for it. All right, that does it for week 5 recap.
Wow,
crazy.
week 5 is
5
done.
weeks in. We're about a little under a third of the way through the season.
You guys are lucky I didn't report you yet.
I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, please don't.
Oh, it's coming.
Well, you got to at least wait for me to post the final bracket for our food mascot
Yes.
Mortal Kombat tournament.
I'll allow that, and then you're going to report it to Facebook directly.
Messed up, man.
I think that'd be doing me a favor. No, I don't. Facebook is overrated anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, who is really using it anymore, honestly?
I gotta be honest, I check it every day. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
I don't know why.
Boomer energy.
I think I need to be... yeah, well, you know me. I need to be reported, honestly.
Scott's addicted.
Find us in the channels about the food mascots. We had fun with that one.
Don't get zucked in.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, yikes.
That was cute. Do you feel good about that? Saying that?
No.
Oh man, yeah. So get active in those channels. See that bracket. We're gonna put some hard work into this. This is gonna be way too much work on our plates for no reason.
But so much fun.
But we really hope that you partake in this bracket.
Well, see you after the bracket.
See you later.